This is wild, as there's been some escalating trade rumor reports that are suggesting the Lakers are targeting Zach LaVine. So we're going to revisit what a Zach LaVine foot could mean basketball-wise, and we can't avoid the high cost of what it'll take for LaVine to get on the Lakers. Also, after a tremendous showing in the preseason, this Laker guard has now earned his spot on the team. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. And before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because the Lakers season starts tomorrow, guys, and you don't want to miss any of these updates here at Lakers Digest. Now, without out of the way, let's hop straight into today's topics, as an NBA insider believes the Lakers should pursue Zach LaVine. So we are back here once again with these Zach LaVine reports and rumors, and another person just made an argument, an NBA insider, about Zach LaVine making his way over to the Lakers via trade. And this is what he said in this article report. This is all coming from Bleacher Report. Assuming they want to maximize their chances as short-term success, the main priority for the Los Angeles Lakers is adding a load-carrying scorer who can take the pressure off LeBron James and Anthony Davis, ideally one who can pull the defensive attention towards the perimeter with his shooting, Q says. If he's healthy, it's a pretty good description of LaVine. One of the only guys in the league with at least 24 points and shoots better than 38% from three across at least 250 games from 2019-2020 to 2022-2023. LA should have targeted LaVine months ago when his market was non-existent. Now, he does bring up a pretty good point there about targeting Zach LaVine during those moments where he didn't really have a very high trade value because he was coming off an injury and hasn't really played, and a lot of people really forgot what a guy like Zach LaVine can do. But now we just had the NBA preseason, we just recently saw Zach LaVine play, and he looked very healthy out there. As just take a look at some of his stats from his preseason games here, and he just played about 4 preseason games for the Chicago Bulls there, but there was a couple of games where he really had some nice scoring numbers, where he had 28 in one game, had 19 in another, and then 18 in another, and then he also shot the ball pretty well from not only from 2 but from 3. And he was able to do a couple of things assist-wise, and then also rebound the basketball as well. So just take a look at one of his better games here that he showed out when he played against the Memphis Grizzlies, where he had 28 points, shot 9 for 12, and shot 6 of 6 from 3. This is all like in the first 3 quarters, because usually most starters don't really play in that fourth quarter there. So Zach LaVine was showing how healthy and how solid he is as a player. And then that has really brought up a lot of things, a lot of rumors that people were talking about before. This is, I want to say, go back to all the way to the trading deadline before Zach LaVine got hurt. And that's when all that Zach LaVine talk was very high. And a lot of people were assuming that the Lakers would be a team to go after a guy like Zach LaVine. But once he got injured, that kind of really set anything under the rug. And then things kind of just got pushed off to the side. But now with this coming back and Zach LaVine being possibly a target, this guy suggests that the Lakers should go after him. Now, I'm of the mind that Zach LaVine, as far from a basketball standpoint, yes, some of it does make sense, because he's a guy that can score the basketball at all 3 levels, and he is a very constant rim threat, with also at the same time being a very lethal 3-point shooting threat. So even if we take a look at some of his stats from last season here, he was still a pretty solid player. Even though he didn't have a healthy season for himself, he was just under 20 points per game with 19.5, with 5.2 rebounds per game, just under 4 assists per game. And then he was shooting about 45% from the field and 34% from 3, which isn't his best, but it's also not bad from a guy who can definitely shoot a better percentage, as he's been shooting about 38% from 3 on average for the past 4 seasons through his career. So Zach LaVine definitely had a down year last season, but if he's maybe in a better environment, maybe in a more winning environment, then you can probably see more benefits of what he can do with your team offensively. Now, the drawbacks for me is just the cost of what it's going to take to get a guy like Zach LaVine. Because of his massive contract that he signed a couple of seasons ago, it's going to take a couple of players with to get a guy like Zach LaVine on your roster. And then if you're a Laker team who kind of is unsure in that really depth range, you don't want to be maybe trading away 2 two starters and maybe a role player to get a Zach LaVine, because that's boom, three guys out of your rotation in order to supplement this one guy that you just added in. Yes, Zach LaVine can be a huge help and really boost the Lakers' offense, but the Lakers aren't a team that really needs somebody to boost their offense. They really need to shore up their defense and their defensive potential. And that is where I have the biggest question marks with a guy like Zach LaVine. Yes, he is athletic and long enough to be a good defender, but he hasn't really shown that to his capabilities at the highest level. And that's also mainly because he hasn't played at the highest levels of basketball, as I believe he's only been in one playoff series. So a guy like Zach LaVine, yes, from a basketball standpoint, yes, he can make sense. He can be a guy that can work around like a LeBron James and Anthony Davis because of his ability to catch and shoot the basketball, but also his ability to get downhill and to be almost like an off-ball finisher, allowing a guy like LeBron James to possibly take up more of the reins. And then depending on who they trade out, because I don't believe the Lakers would want to trade out a guy like Austin Reaves. So keeping him is probably going to be key to as well. But some of the other guys that would have to go, it would have to be a combination of a D'Angelo Russell and or Jared Vanderbilt or Rui Hachimura. And then you have to throw in maybe some other role player like a Gabe Vincent, who is actually looking pretty solid for the Lakers here in preseason. So it's just a lot of things to think about if you're a guy like the GM like Rob Pelinka, because the Lakers are in a position where they aren't really too sure what the ceiling or potential is with this current roster that they have, because now with the new coach, with JJ Redick, maybe they're going to see things a little bit different and see what happens. So I'm going to just put the wait and see on right here for the Los Angeles Lakers, because I don't think the Bulls are really going anywhere. They're not going to make too much noise in that Eastern Conference. So he might end up being available once again once the trade deadline rolls around. But that moves us to our next topic here, and it is a very exciting one as Quincy Olivari earns a spot on the roster. So, after having a tremendous, and I mean tremendous preseason and showing even through some of the stuff that we didn't see, so that's some of the training camp battles, some of the stuff that only Redick and the coaching staff saw, and then that has now earned a guy like Quincy Olivari a spot on the Lakers roster. As this was from a couple of days ago, as the Lakers had converted Quincy Olivari to a two-way contract, and then in the process, they waived center Colin Castleton, who was the other guy on a two-way contract, and they also waived guard Grayson Murphy. So that is huge news for a guy like Quincy Olivari, who really worked his tail off to be in this position. And he really inspired a lot of people through his story, because he is one of those older college guys. And a lot of people, they always do this with older college players. They think they don't have the potential to really add to your NBA team and can't really do much for you because they are a 23-year-old rookie, which is what Quincy Olivari is. But the Lakers are kind of breaking that mold with some of these older prospects, because they've had guys like Kyle Kuzma in the past, a guy like Austin Reaves in the past, and then also another guy now this season with Dalton Connect. So all of these young guys who are older prospects, so to speak, are really adding value and really helping to the Lakers. So now Olivari has earned his spot with a two-way contract, which essentially gives him free reign to be with either the NBA squad or with the South Bay Lakers squad, and then they maximize the games that he can play at the NBA level, so he can't play, I believe it's more than 50 games for the team. But that is a great story for a guy like Quincy Olivari, who, like I said, really worked his tail off to be in this position, and he really deserves that spot for the Los Angeles Lakers, because as a guy like Colin Castleton, who showed some potential and some flashes here and there, didn't really play up to the caliber that I think maybe even the Lakers saw that he could possibly play up to, as that's why they were to let him go. And then also they signed Christian Koloko recently to a two-way contract, and they're still waiting word to see what happens with his status. But that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel to make sure you guys are up to date on those Laker news and updates. Because there is just about, I want to say, 78% of you guys who are not subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of those updates, especially with the NBA season starting tomorrow, you guys will make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. Also, leave a comment down below of what you guys think. Do you guys think the Lakers should go after a guy like Zach LaVine, even though it's going to cost the Lakers a lot of salary to match his big salary? Or are you of the mind of where the Lakers need to maximize what they've got right now and try to lengthen that window that you have with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? And then also, what do you guys think about Quincy Olivari earning his spot on the squad? It's kind of hard not to be happy for him, but just let us know what you guys think. So we'll read those comments and also comment back to you guys. So I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.